Welcome to Amber's ugly yet spacious kitchen. And a cat. Meow. Okay, today we're making cannelloni. You're going to want for each batch of the 500 milliliters of ricotta, you're going to want 1 egg, 1 large thing of tomato sauce. You're going to want 3 tablespoons of milk, 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. You're going to want 1 bunch of green onions. You're going to want obviously a box of pre-cooked cannelloni and some garlic toast, because why not? I'm making a double batch, so I'm going to be using double that. Baking pan, burger flipper thing, something to pipe into the cannelloni, knives, spoons, tablespoon measuring cup, stuff like that. And don't forget the cheese, yum yum cheese. I use a full bag of cheese for mine. It could be 3 blend, but so long as it has cheddar in it, that's all that matters. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to unsafely chop your green onions. There are plenty of videos on YouTube, I'm sure, on how to properly dice up your veggies, but you just want to slice them up like this and do that to both of them if you're making a double batch like me, or one of them if you're just making a single batch. And just do that until all of them are diced up. Now that they're diced, you're going to want to take them and you're going to want to add them to a nice large mixing bowl. After you add them to the bowl, you're just going to want to add your ricotta cheese, your egg or eggs. I would do at least a cup or 2 of your cheese, whether it's the 3, I like the 3 blend cheese the best for myself. But as I said earlier, so long as it has cheddar in it, that's all that really matters. It could be like a cheddar mozzarella blend, that's okay too. You're going to want to add your Parmesan cheese and your milk as well and mix it all up until everything is really, really well mixed up, because you're going to want to put these in shells afterwards. So you kind of don't want to have like clumps of onions in one shell and then like no cheese in another shell or something like that. Next, you're going to want to take your baking sheet and you're going to get some tomato sauce. You're going to want to dump that tomato sauce and evenly coat the entire bottom of that baking sheet, because the last thing you want is sticky cannelloni shells on the bottom and you're going to have to, chisel them off. I figure that, a nice layer of sauce helps them glide off a lot easier when they're done. When you're done doing that, you're going to want to put it aside next to the bowl with the cannelloni goop, because as soon as you pipe them into the cannelloni shells, you're going to want to put them right on that baking sheet. Now for piping it, I prefer to use a piping bag that you use for icing for cakes, just with the little nozzle taken off, because I find that that's just the perfect size to shove all that goop into your cannelloni shell. So what you want to do is you want to fill up that icing bag until you can just tie it at the top, just enough for your hand to hold that tie and squeeze down on the bag to get the goop into the shell. And then fill that shell up and then place them evenly onto the baking sheet. If you're just doing a single batch, you can put a little bit of space in between them, or a decent amount. If you are doing a double batch like me, then space matters. And put enough so a butter knife can fit in between them. It's kind of what I do. Now that they're all laid out, you're ready to put some more sauce on them. This is to make sure that they don't get burned and that they are nice and soft when you bring them out of the oven. So take your spoon, a tablespoon preferably, heap it up, and you can spread it lengthwise down each one, and that should cover all but just the ends of them. Then so you do that for all of them. And then if you have any leftover sauce, feel free to coat the ends and maybe dump some more in between so that you have some dipping sauce for your garlic bread. So when you're done putting all the sauce on, you're going to want to sprinkle the Parmesan cheese on it to make it kind of look like it snowed. After you're done doing that, you're going to want to take the rest of the cheese that we used for our mixture, anything that was left over, and you're going to want to sprinkle that on top. Because I really like cheese, and cheese is really, really good. So after you're done with that, turn the oven on to 375 degrees Fahrenheit and stick that pan in there for about 12 to 20 minutes, just long enough that the shells are nice and soft and the cheese sauce mixture is bubbling at you. So when you're done, fork over some to a plate, add a little bit more Parmesan cheese because, hey, why not? It's cheese. Then you can cook your garlic bread however your garlic bread says it's supposed to be cooked. But here, I'm going to show you what it looks like. See how nice and soft it is? And see how yummy and full it is. And see how hot it is. Holy moly, you can see the steam rising off that thing. So, garlic bread is done. You can add the garlic bread. That's why I put lots of sauce, because I like to dip garlic bread. If you don't want to do garlic bread, then you don't have to put as much sauce. But I like it because it's yummy. Enjoy, that's all, and ciao.